Let's move on to our next topic, and that is Cyberpunk 2077 is back in the headlines. Just the other day, they put on a new, unexpected Night City Wire, which is their live kind of streaming blog format, video show blog format, where they give you updates of the game and things like that. And it was hugely successful in the run up to the launch of the game. Went quiet for a little while, but now they're back with some new content and some new announcements. Before we get into the announcements, I want to ask both of you, what's your experience with the game Cyberpunk 2077? Are you fans of it? Did you play it? Did you avoid it like the plague because of all of the furor and issues around it when it launched when was it, last year? Was it 2020? No, 2020. So what, 2 years ago? No, it was last year. Was it last year?
Last year.
I remember when it launched.
Last year. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was launched the same year as the console launches, right? So that's 2020.
So 2020.
The last 2 years are just one blow of bad news, really. So it's just
like a clump of time.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. So Sarah, we'll hand over to you. What's your vibe on Cyberpunk?
I was a plague avoider. I was super hyped for it, but we didn't organize getting a pre-sale, and then heard that it was a car crash with all how buggy it was, so we didn't get it and still haven't got it. Although that being said, when Witcher 3 came out, it had a similar like buggy launch, so I mean maybe we should have given them the benefit of the doubt. I think they've fixed a lot of bugs, and I would still like to play it. I guess it's just it felt like it was it overpromised and under-delivered, only purely based on what I've heard from other people, because I haven't played it yet. The thing I'm really excited about, though, is the Netflix show that they're doing. Like, so the animation studio did Neon Genesis, and I'm an anime fan, so I was like, that is super cool. They also did one of the what were they called? You know, the Star Wars shorts that they did.
Visions, Star Wars Visions kind of series.
Yeah, so they did one of those, the one called The Twins. So animation-wise, I'm like super excited for that. And watching the trailer, it looks absolutely nuts. Like, it looks so cool. And then it made me go, oh, maybe I should try playing the game, which is essentially what I was thinking of with The Last of Us Part 1. You've kind of got if you watch the TV show, maybe you'll play the game. So that's probably what I'll end up doing.
Jamie?
Yeah, I'm middle of the road on this one with Cyberpunk, because it was a game that I just, and I say this with nothing but love in my heart, didn't care, but only purely because I haven't even got around to playing The Witcher yet, and I get lambasted for this on a daily basis by friends, because I really do need to play it. I played like 10 minutes of it. I played 10 minutes of it, and I really liked it. And I'm like, I'm going to sit down and play this properly. Haven't done it. Seen lots of it. Loved it. Haven't watched the show yet. I am everything involving CD Projekt Red, I'm a big fan of what you do, guys, from what I've seen. I just haven't had time to play any of it at all. But Cyberpunk, there was obviously the whole furore that built out of it. I was sat back watching it from a distance thinking, this is a shame. I know a lot of people were hyped for it. It's a setting I love. It's very, I don't know why I'm constantly reminded of books today, but I keep coming back to, there's a sci-fi series I love from way back in the day by an author called Harry Harrison. It's the Stainless Steel Rat series, which really needs a video game series, by the way. If anyone's listening who can make that happen, I will worship you forever. But that's very cyberpunky and very that sort of era. So it's a genre I love. It looks really good. At some point, I will get around to playing it. But similarly to what you said, the Netflix show was what got my attention most out of that whole announcement. It's little things in the trailer. Like, there were blood spatters dropping to the musical cues and things like those sort of things. Always make the hair stand up on my neck. And I am a huge Evangelion fan, particularly. So I was very happy with that. And Matt Mercer's in it, which
I know
straight away I was like, if it's got a Critical Role cast member in it, I will watch it. So, I was quite sold on that.
Yeah, it's got kind of like Ghost in the Shell kind of vibe to it. What's that super famous old Akira?
Akira. Yeah, it has that look of just being like hyper violent, but gorgeous to look at, and clearly they've put a lot of investment into it, and that just shows by the talent that they've obviously recruited to be the custodians of this Netflix series, which is obviously called Edge Runner for the benefit of our audience. And it just looks fantastic. And now going back to the game, I've got a bit of a different Cyberpunk journey than the two of you, obviously, because I bought into the hype. Right, I'm such a fan of getting like whipped up into a frenzy for something that is clearly can never ever possibly deliver. So that was me through all the promotional stuff. It's like, this is clearly going to be amazing. It's going to be the greatest game ever. Pre-ordered it, and I knew I had at the time I had my Xbox Series X in the bank, pre-ordered as well. So this was going to be my next generation experience. The next generation is going to be here, and Cyberpunk is going to usher in this whole new era of gaming. We're going to show what they can do with open world quest designs, character designs, themes, all this kind of stuff, and style and gameplay. It's going to be amazing. That's what I thought. As it turned out, then after the fact, after I'd got it and started playing it, I thought, it's a bit rough. And then all the stuff started dropping, like all the articles started dropping. It's like, oh my god, they totally pooped the bed on this one in a huge way. It's not ready. And anyway, but because I was on a next generation console, it ran much better and less buggy, still very buggy, but less buggy than anybody trying to run it on the previous generation of hardware. But it was enough that I thought, it's great. I'm really, really enjoying it. I love the characters. I love the writing. I love Night City driving around, but it's not the big future open world reinvention that we had hoped it would be. So I put it down after finishing it. I did actually complete it, and I actually loved the writing and the story. So I put it down. Came back like a year later when the proper next generation version came out, the proper one, and they fixed so much that now it is a phenomenal game. In my little humble opinion, I think it's just fantastic. It's so solid now. They've fixed so much, and again, they're continually adding updates and improvements to it. I haven't tried the latest patch, which is 1.6, I think. 1.5 was the big one for next gen, and it looks gorgeous. It runs really well now, and I could recommend it to anybody as long as they're on a next generation console. But what everybody was hoping for is when are we going to get like a big expansion pack for this? Because they did such good expansion packs for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. There was Blood and Wine. There was Heart of something, Heart of Stone or something like that. Was it called? Or is that right? Does that sound right?
I don't know. I can't
anyway,
remember.
The big new expansion packs for it, and Blood and Wine was I think the biggest one, which had the whole new area. Which again, the DLCs of Witcher 3 I have not played. I've only played the base game, so I'm looking forward to that. But they finally announced a big expansion pack coming next year called Phantom Liberty, with a little bit of a short, almost 1 minute long trailer for it. And again, it looks too good to be true, because it looks so slick and so impressive, like visually. And I'm really curious about the theme of it as well, and what they're going to do with it. It's clearly based around the presidential campaign or something like that, because it's the voiceover and narration is about running for president for the United States. So I don't know what kind of interesting talking points they're going to be pulling, and satire and things like that. The CD Projekt Red are going to be going to town with in this thread that they're going to be producing for us. So I'm hugely excited to see more on that. But yeah, as you said, like the anime just looks so good. And that is that I hope is going to either get people interested or bring people back to say, oh, this Edge Runners is wicked. Do you remember that game, Cyberpunk, that came out? Maybe I'll check it out again now that it's in a bit better state. So it just looks so good. Yeah, so
and
good.
I don't know what the actual timeline is on it, but is the Netflix show coming out around the same time as the DLC? Because that seems like really good timing to me.
I think so. They did an Edge Runners tie-in DLC, which launched yesterday, I think. But I don't know when the anime is actually out. But yeah, like to have that marriage, that marketing hookup would be very smart.